Hi, my name is Barbara Fernandez. I'm a speech and language pathologist, a mother of two, and the creator of a variety of apps for the iPad. Today, I want to talk to moms and dads like me that have kids going to speech therapy. Today, I want to focus on parents that have kids working on articulation, meaning working on a difficulty pronouncing or producing certain sounds when they speak. So as SLPs or speech therapists are working with your child, either in a school setting or if you're sending them for private practice, I'm a strong believer in the power of parents being involved in therapy. If, as a mom, I see such a difference with the fact that I'm working with my kid at home on a daily basis, the progress that we make, it's so much significant. We are able to work with them at home and making improvement towards whatever goals that they are working in therapy. But I know the challenge is always, how do I work with my child? Sometimes the child goes to therapy in a school, you don't even know what they're working on necessarily. I mean, you do know the IEP or whatever the goals are, but you don't know how the therapist is working on a specific goal. So if your child, for example, is working on producing the TH, how do you go about working on that TH at home? Do you fix the TH? Do you try to correct them every time they say it incorrectly at home? So today I want to talk about one app that you can use at home called Articulate. It's one app that I developed for parents and professionals to have access to materials to work with their kids at home. And also in therapy. A lot of the therapists are using this app in their clinical setting, working with your child. But I also believe that you as a parent should be given information and materials to work with your child at home, because we know the parent participation is so important in the progress. So I'm gonna go get the app so I can give you guys a better idea of what I'm talking about. It's always better with the app. So I have here my iPad. And if you want to access the app, it's very simple. It's accessible to anyone, not just speech therapists. It's available in the App Store. And if you search the app called Articulate. But let's take a look at it. So this is Articulate. It's all loaded on my iPad. And I'm going to start fresh, as you would see as you download the app. So we're going to select here, select player. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a player. In this case would be my child. And I can add a photo, but I'm gonna go ahead and select an avatar. A lot of the times I do allow my child to be the one to pick as his avatar for whatever app he's using. I'm gonna go ahead and enter the name for my child, and I can enter any notes here. I'm gonna go ahead and tap Add Student. So now my student has been added. Now the next thing that I need to do is start an activity. So I'm going to select my student or my own child. I'm going to tap play. The app includes 4 activities and is actually telling you, giving you information on what to do step by step. You can always email your therapist or your child's therapist and ask which sound they're working on at a given time. This way you can also spend 5-10 minutes on a daily basis practicing the words that they're working in therapy, so working on the same goals. So within the 4 activities, the first one is called a flashcard activity. You know, if you think in the past, we used to have these paper flashcards. Now these flashcards are now on the iPad, built in on the iPad. And it's so much easier, so much more practical. This app is also available on the iPhone. So you can work with your child pretty much anywhere you go. We're gonna go ahead and select the sound. So this is what the screen looks like. You have all the sounds there. So let's say that your child is having difficulty with a couple sounds, but we can always select one at a time. So I'm going to select 2 just to show you that we can. K's and G's. Oh, k, g. So these are the 2 sounds. I'm going to tap done, and then we're going to select which position. So for now, I'm going to start just working on these 2 sounds when they appear in the beginning of the word. I'm going to tap done. Now on the next screen, we have access to all the words that are included on the app. So I'm going to tap done, and we take a look at the words. So these are the words that you will have access on the app, and you can swipe it.
Next image. Tap on the eye icon to use the camera function.
So the application is actually giving you instructions step by step on how to use the app. But you can see here, we swipe it. If we tap on it, I'm going to turn up the volume here so you guys can hear it a little better.
Canvas. Goatee. Candy. Kid.
The app has hundreds of words built in on the app, which gives you access to basically a variety of words, in this case K's and G's, that the child is working on.
Cafeteria. Canoe. Cap.
Now, one very neat thing is you see at the bottom here, we have a few buttons for correct, approximation, and incorrect. You don't necessarily need to use these buttons. You can always actually turn it off on the settings if you don't want to be tracking how your child is using these sounds. But one very interesting thing is this gives you the power to actually mark, okay, he said cap, correct. So you go ahead and tap on it. Now let's try garlic, tarlic. He said incorrect. So you mark here on the X to mark incorrect. And what it's doing is actually tracking on the app how that child is producing each sound. This way, over time, you can see that he's actually making progress. This data can also be shared with your speech therapist so that she can always give you more guidance on how and give you tips on how to actually use and help your child at home. The middle button is the yellow button, and sometimes, he almost got it, was better than he did it before, or sometimes you can say, well, he used this button if I gave him a model. So if I actually really helped him, but he can never do it on his own. So if we try the word camp, he couldn't do it on his own, so you mark that yellow because you actually helped him. Another very neat thing is the ability to record. So I can tap on the record button, and it's not recording everything I say. So if I say temp or pimp, I can actually go back, play that audio for the child, and they can see and hear themselves say it incorrectly. A lot of the time, some of the work is actually getting the child to understand and to be conscious about their own errors. It's one step in therapy. It's one step towards progress. And the recording function on the iPad is fundamental. You can record, play it back, and also it's great to record, and actually did a great job producing the word. They love hearing themselves being proficient in the sound that they were working on. Moving on to a few other things, the use of the camera.
You can drag the mirror box to any location.
So this is the camera.
If you wish
and
to
if
close
I
the
want
box,
to use the iPad to see myself, to show the child the placement
in the top,
the placement of how to produce k, k, or b, b. The camera allows them to see themselves, how they use their lips, their mouth, their teeth, their tongue, all in producing that correct sound. Now, moving on, part of the progress towards therapy is working at the word level. So just that word that, first you start with the sound in isolation, like b, then ball. Then, in this case here, camp, and sometimes a child can't yet say that word they can say it as a word, so if you do it in isolation, so just a single word. But then when you go to use that word in the phrase, like a cozy camp, they say a cozy temp or a cozy pimp. So they used to be having difficulty putting that word in the phrase. So that's the next level that we work on for them to try to produce it and eventually produce it in conversation. So the app,
a cozy camp,
also gives them not only the phrase, but the audio to that specific target. Then when we're ready to move on to the next level,
the kids arrived at the camp.
We have a sentence level, which is even a step further than what they are going to be working on. Now, this that I showed you, it's just a small portion of what the app actually does. I'm going to quickly show you some of the other parts of the app so that you actually have an idea of what you're actually getting. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Change Activity. This is a matching game. So working for sound, working on still the K and K, G sounds, but now they have to find the words that are related to that that match that picture. So they're going to look for
garage,
it. And you also can track here at the bottom how they produce that word.
cat, cash.
I'm not very good at this. So let's move on. So when we're ready to change activity,
what do you call waterproof overshoes?
now it's a way for you to actually get them to say that word in a question format. So they have to try to guess the answer to this.
Galoshes. What does ice cream come in that you can eat?
What is it?
Cone.
Whoa. So it's always fun because this allows the child to have fun trying to guess the words containing the sounds that they're working on. Now, finally, I'm going to terminate here. Actually, I'm going to return. I'm going to mark a few things here.
What is a kind of dog-like
Then let's
animal?
terminate.
Select one of the students. Scroll down to view results from previous sessions.
So what the app is
you
doing
can also
here,
review notes of each session as
turn
well
down
as
that.
the recordings.
So what the app is doing now is giving you the information on how they produce the K sound, correct, approximate, and incorrect. All the times that you've worked on with your child are going to be here recorded on the app. Super easy to share with your therapist. Tap the share button and email the speech therapist directly from your iPad to see, look, we worked today. This is how he is doing in therapy towards producing the sound that we are all trying to get him to produce. And there's so many more things on the app, but I do want to show you the next level of practice, which is stories. The app offers stories. So I'm going to select the sound P, and you can see here the app has stories with the words that have the sound P. It's key illustration. So this is P. If you tap on the play, let's turn up the volume.
Went to the park with his papa. They had planned to have a picnic in the park. They sat down to have their picnic near a peach.
Then once the child actually read and listens to a variety of words that has the sounds that they're actually working on, they actually get to answer
Pete's papa?
little comprehension questions. This is amazing. The child is not only working on the sounds, listening, they're also working on improving their reading skills, working on improving their comprehension and answering questions, all while still working on that sound that they're working on. And another
P.
illustration for P in the middle of the word, and then final
P.
So different illustration, completely different story, and there is a variety of different stories for all the sounds that are included on the app. You can find this app on any iPhone, on your iPad. It's called Articulated, and I hope this video was helpful. I know that as a parent, sometimes we are busy and it's difficult to find time to work with our child, but I know that now at least you know that there's a material out there that you can work 5-10 minutes a day, even if you work 2-3 times a week. That's a lot more sometimes than the 30 minutes they're getting a week of services with your therapist. This does not replace a therapist. I'm an SLP, I'm a speech therapist. I'm telling you this does not necessarily replace the need for your child to be seen, evaluated, and properly treated by a speech therapist. This is an additional tool that, with the guidance of your therapist, can serve to you as a way to work with your child at home. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great day, and good luck, and good job as a mom and dad and working with your child at home to help them communicate better. I'm Barbara Fernandez, and that was it for today.